I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How have I been this successful in life?
Hand up. Full accountability. We're late tonight because of me.
For once.
Rarely because of me. So when it is, I'll step up and say it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the MMA Analysis Podcast. We're going to Mexico this week, just like many Canadians will be going to Mexico for vacations instead of Wes is a UK man. We know this.
Yeah, that's
instead
true.
of Lance's shitty country. We're going to Mexico, baby. Sean, how you doing this week?
Doing well. Yeah, life's good. I fucking had a actually good betting card on last Saturday. Went 5-0, over 10 units.
Ooh.
Can't hate on that.
I didn't know your game like that. Wesley, what's going on, brother?
Man, same old stuff. I also had a pretty good betting week. 5-6 units, wasn't 10, was 5 or 6. We're up this year, not doing too bad. So it's always good. And I would advise y'all Canadians to just fly on over at this point because you land in the States.
Around just because just the airspace.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, they might leak your flight plans at this point. You'll be shot down. Yeah, I mean, we're down here snatching up Canadian citizens and shit at this point. Like it's wild, bro. But I won't get political. I'm at the point to where I'm just over it, and I hope all the bad shit happens so everybody gets hurt. And I'm a middle-aged white guy, so I'm gonna be good and fine. Enjoy y'all shit. Stay out of here, Canadians, because they will snatch your ass up too.
Yeah,
especially
we'll
with
sprinkle the politics in throughout the show.
Especially with some of our DMs, we probably don't want to get caught up anywhere. Some things we've probably said.
Well, I mean, it ain't like Elon ain't done looked at all y'all shit anyway. You know, Elon
already there.
Elon getting dunked on by Assassin's Creed might be the funniest shit of the week, though. Like the damn ratio on the two tweets is like an all-time. Like you got ratio dunked, bro. Absolutely, good stuff. Just good stuff.
Yeah, it's there's been a lot of good stuff in the UFC and in the right wing globosphere. This week. Pretty impressive that somehow Artem Vatakov managed to turn down the UFC's generous offer of 10K and 10K to go fight Rico and probably get paid a couple million.
Is there I know there's been so many, but in recent years, that's one of the ones that are holy shit, man. Just
pay the dude.
Just pay the guy. You can give him a couple $100,000. The guy's going to come fight in the UFC, but they're offering these guys these dudes can go over and fight in Europe, man. And I know there's still the lure of the UFC and these dudes, especially in Europe and shit, want to make it over in America fighting and shit. But man, when you're offering stuff like this company does, they make that doing shitty promo commercials and shit over in Europe, selling tires or something, man. What they get paid to fight in the quote unquote top promotion in the world. It's crazy,
bro,
man.
Talking about Stockton Honda, bro. They got the best
Toyo tires, bro. I mean, even the couple kickboxing guys that I follow was talking this dude's one of the greatest kickboxers of this generation and shit. And it's the UFC can't even open their pocketbook to break. And look at the last guy. You bring in the last two top kickboxers and look what they did for your company.
Your biggest draws because
they're the biggest. Exactly. Pereira's one of your biggest fucking draws that you have, man. It's just wild. I don't understand the business approach. They're content creators at this point. They might as well be fucking I Show Speed UFC at this point. Fucking Kai Cenat UFC. Like that's literally what they are. Pump out a fucking Twitch video every day. It's crazy, man.
And then the other news that happened this week is that the majority of MMA fans, or maybe UFC fans, because I think there's a difference at this point, think that Cain Velasquez should just be able to run around and shoot people randomly, and you should be able to get away with it with no consequences.
I mean, look, as a father, I don't have. Look, as a father, I can completely understand
why he did it.
And look, honestly, I hope that I have that courage if somebody did that to my son, that I would go fucking pump some bullets in somebody. I actually hope, but you know what? I would also expect that there would be consequences for taking the law into my own hands. Like the biggest thing with me is like, if Cain would have like went to that dude's house and like shot him in his doorway, I think that he's a pedophile. Like I think different than a lot of people, like the quote unquote people on the left. Like I believe in capital punishment myself. And I think pedophiles should probably have some capital punishment.
Yeah. Pretty high on that list.
But besides that, like when you're shooting at guys on public streets and shit, like, look, even like in America, there are laws to like, even if you're like protecting yourself from somebody physically assaulting you, you can't just willy-nilly start firing your gun in public, even if somebody is assaulting you, because you put to not think that Cain shouldn't have some kind of like punishment for shooting at a dude in public. We're wild, man. We're just, people have lost their fucking minds, man.
Moral of the story: you're gonna do that, don't miss. That's the moral of the story.
Yep.
Don't miss. Don't fucking run somebody down in their car on a public roadway and be shooting at cars and shit. Like I said, to me, it's a completely different story in my mind. To me personally, if he'd have went to the guy's home and shot him in his doorway, like and I'm just like, I'm like I said, I'm way different than a lot of people on the left, man. I think murderers and rapists and pedophiles should be killed, period. Like, that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people don't believe in capital punishment, but I just feel a little different way. Pedophiles are about the worst of the worst. I know our boy Jeremy, we had a conversation a long time ago to where, and he was just wanting to just intellectually talk about, like, can pedophiles be like rehabilitated? You know, should they be sent to hospitals or prisons or something like that? And can you rehabilitate a pedophile? And would you trust your son to be like, is this pedophile rehabilitated or not?
Can and should are very different questions in a lot of scenarios. Like, can I watch the UFC in London? Yes. Should I watch the UFC in London? No. And I did not. So good for me. I know I always say that I didn't watch, but guys, over under 1.5 fights watched on this card. What are we taking? We'll just go minus 110, both sides.
Mexico card?
No.
Last week.
Oh, under.
Oh, absolutely. You smashed it. I had to move the line, moved it down to half. It still got smashed.
Still juiced.
Yeah. So I watched nothing on this card, but we're going to recap it extremely quickly. Apparently, Sean Brady dominated a listless Leon Edwards, who guillotine choke in the 4th round. Carlsberg allegedly won a decision over Yanni from the block. Kevin Holland won a decision over Gunnar Nelson, who I assume looks about as unwilling to be in a cage as anyone who loses a decision to Kevin Holland. Alexia Tenera. Oh, sub. We were on that one. Love that. Alexia Tenera, rear naked choke over Molly McCann. good old Meatbally. I'm sure she'll stick around for another 10 fights or so in the UFC.
No, she retired.
And the
Retired.
last of the main card, Chris Duncan, second round guillotine over Jordan Vucenic. That's actually like kind of an impressive win for him. And Nathaniel Wood, unanimous decision over Morgan Charrier. Sean, anything on the main card?
Brady did smoke him. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. Leon Edwards is. He's going to be one for the record books. Like, he really won the title.
Were a champion?
I think. Yeah, that's wild. The Alberg Blachowicz fight. It was a close fight. It kind of went how I thought. Like, Alberg was way too big of a favorite. The fight's going to be close, but he's probably going to pull it out just on more volume. Neither of these guys really went for it. It was pretty shitty to watch, and I hope Alberg doesn't get a title shot based on that performance, because that was terrible. Kelvin Holland, I finally bet on him, and he still makes it hard. He almost finished Nelson at the end of the first round, and he just chooses to just lay on his back when he probably could get up. He was still winning from his back, which is wild. But Holland never makes it easy. The sub in that fight, in the women's fight, at cash plus 275 for me. That was a beauty. Vucenic is an absolute urinal cake fight IQ fighter.
I mean, you can look at his tattoos and see that.
Yeah, those are choices. Those are definitely choices. He was an idiot. Like, he had a tough first round, but the tide was turning, and he was beating him on the feet, and he just force grapples and gets choked the fuck out. Moron. Yeah, that's all I got for the main card.
Wesley, fuck, marry, kill. Worst UFC champions of all time. I'm going Leon Edwards, Nico Montano, and Dave Manet. Go.
Well, I mean, we're only fucking one, because I just don't swing the other way. Let's see who has the most money. Dave Manet. We'll probably marry Dave Manet, and then just
Leon.
get rid of Leon.
There'll be a report of a homicide, and they'll be like, "Who?" And they won't even investigate. You're good. That's the perfect choice. You nailed it.
Yeah, that is wild, man. I talked last week about how, Leon might be at this point a little underrated, and probably not. He's not very good, man. Look, Sean Brady looked very good. I know it was against Leon Edwards, but the ease with which he was getting takedowns and controlling his top half guard is insane, man. Like, that dude could absolutely beat Bilal tomorrow. Absolutely.
Could.
Brady,
but he also gets hit, which is very concerning.
I get it. I mean, I don't, but how much is this guy going to get hit when he's making improvements like this on his offensive wrestling and his takedowns and shit? Like, that guy looked incredible. I know his
takedowns aren't amazing. I feel like his top game is amazing.
Definitely.
His takedowns are good. But it also helps when Leon Edwards panic shoots on you.
That was hilarious. That might have been
a little Twitter clip of that.
That was one of the urinal cake Hall of Fame.
That was like Connor on Nate level.
Straight up. That was amazing, bro. But like, on even the short amount of times they were on the feet, like, Brady looked decent. Like, he was popping Leon and shit. Like, I don't think the guy's hands are necessarily bad either. The chin's going to have to be proven again, but we've seen guys in the past, man, get clocked one time or another, and they don't necessarily have some bad chin. It was just one of those fluke times they got caught. I think that might be it with Brady, man. I think Brady might be very, very good. Olberg is absolute a trash can. Jan won that fight. I thought that fight was close. I thought it was clear, though. The third round, Jan just came forward. He was throwing calf kicks and shit and stuff like that, but the dude literally came forward almost the entire round. That was a bad decision, in my opinion. I did bet Jan, but Olberg did nothing to win that fight. Like, Jan didn't do a lot, but he came forward and was at least throwing leg kicks and shit. So, if they give Olberg a title shot, like, come on, man, what are we doing anymore? props to Sean on Holland. I didn't believe it. I had to see it to believe it. The dude still almost lost on his back to fucking Gunner. Like, seriously, it was tied going into the third. Gunner got him down again and just literally couldn't do nothing. He gassed out hard. Holland is bad, man. Like 170, 185. That guy's horrible. He is a king fade. Like anytime you get plus money to fade that guy, you got to take it. Good on Sean though. Like he found the perfect spot and got it. The McCann fight, yeah, dude. Fight doesn't go. The sub was nice. Y'all kind of talked about that on last week's show. I added a little of that fight into the sub, but that fight not going the distance like plus 180 or something like that was incredible. Yeah. That was one of the best bets on the entire card. Duncan's still terrible. Nathaniel Wood looked like very, very good, but I'm just still not convinced that he can compete at the highest level at 145. He still looks small. I don't know if Charrier has like a bad chin, but like Wood dropped him and shit. Like, I don't know. Wood looks very, very good. I think that kid is very talented. I'm just not sure he can do it at 145 up at the upper levels of that division.
Yeah, I think it kind of worked for him in a fight like this because at one point, didn't Charrier also fight at 135 back in like the Cage Warriors days? Or am I imagining that? Might be imagining that.
If he did, like he's put on like massive muscle and shit since then because he was like way bigger than he's jacked up now. So if he did, if there was I don't know, I'd really like to see Wood be able to make 135. I don't know. He's definitely not the same fighter like, you know, just lasting in a fight wise and shit. I get the move up like completely, and he looks way better at 145. I'm just not sure that can carry when he gets top 10, top 12 guys that can wrestle and grapple and do all that kind of shit. So,
I mean, I think as a pragmatic career move, he's not going to be a champion at either division, but he's probably got a longer career at 145 hanging around than getting knocked out down at 135.
He looked good, man.
Especially if he fights guys like this and doesn't take huge step ups. Like he can win these fights.
Yep.
Yeah. The rest of the cards, I will give you each one sentence on up to 3 fights to talk about this. Consensus winner, Chris Padilla. Big time, easy split decision over Jai Herbert, never in doubt. Loner Kavanaugh, unanimous decision over Felipe Dos Santos. Marcin Tabura, unanimous decision over Mick Parkin. This sounds like it was fun, guys. This just blowing my socks off here. Klid, unanimous decision over Pulyaoff. And Shauna Bannon with a submission. I think I saw Wes tweet about this being a spectacular submission over Puja Tomar. Armbar in the second round. Maybe it was somebody else. Who knows? Colin Cochran with a split decision over Nathan Fletcher. And Kawhi Fernandez with the upset over Guram. Sean, pick your 3 fights and sentences wisely.
I didn't think Tibura won, but we'll take it. CLD finally gets a striker and decides to grapple. He wins easy, but that's atrocious. And that submission, Shauna Bannon almost got knocked the fuck out with a head kick.
Yeah.
Gets an armbar from guard, but Puja gets out of it and then decides to just stick it right back. Women's MMA in 2025.
That was a bit of a run-on sentence, but I'll allow it because I appreciate it. Wes, I know that this is going to be an absolute failure on your side, but
one big run-on. Padilla, you're welcome. Tybura decision, unbelievable. Fuck Leroy Duncan. The Loughran split was fucking madness. That guy easily won that fight. And Guram is toast. That guy's complete toast. He's done.
Not good.
Close
Garbage
enough.
Kutulad say.
Yep.
Well done, sir. Well, you exceeded the 3 fights, but I will allow it. You stuck within a nice tight timeline there. Ozzy, welcome. Jeff, also
Ozzy,
welcome.
Ozzy,
You've been
Ozzy.
there for a while. We're moving on to this week, and I'm not sure if people are picking up on it like they used to, but we're in Mexico City. We're at Elevation. We've got to talk about elevation in every fight and how somebody is probably going to get tired. And we got to keep that in mind when we're betting these fights.
Kane only gets 6 months if he's in Mexico City. Got to add in the elevation changes and sea level Kane and all that. He only gets 6 months.
6 months feels like about 20 years to Kane in Mexico City. Before Brandon Moreno, Egg Dude, main event. There was somebody, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I know he's been around for a while. He was like, oh yeah, the new fans are like always complaining about how the old fans are complaining. And then he posted the screenshot of all the posters from the last year before the UFC was owned by Endeavor.
Yeah.
And it was like Silva Bisping.
Yeah, banger.
Like JDS in main cards, like title
RDA.
fights in main cards.
Yep.
Yeah. But Brandon Moreno and the Egg Dude, main event, Mexico City. We got 13 bouts coming up here. We are going to kick it off in the lightweight division. Start the card off with some Mexican flavor, if you will. So we've got Austin Hubbard, naturally. Very authentic Latin man, taking on Markel Medeiros, who is from like Colorado or something. I don't know. Anyway, Sean, this is a fight. Do we know we know who Austin Hubbard is. Do we know the other dude?
I mean, not really. Contender series guy in 2023. And he got a finish. So, I mean, he didn't even need to, as long as he wins, even if he would have lost, he'd probably be fighting in the UFC. But I don't know. I don't know much about this fight. If Hubbard gets takedowns, he probably wins. Does he get takedowns? I have no idea. I'll probably pick the favorite. It was Medeiros.
Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, Medeiros looked decent on his contender series fight. Then he had a stinker in his UFC debut. I mean, he's at a good gym. I just feel like, if Hubbard can implement his wrestling and grappling here, it's going to be close. So dog or pass for me, but I can't bring myself to put money on Austin Hubbard in 2025.
Also cannot bring myself to put money on Austin Hubbard in 2025, but he's the one fighter that I know here. And he's like one of those guys that's going to do what he does. Yep. He's going to eat shots, come forward, try and put pressure on somebody. A youngish prospect who's never really faced anybody good. That's quite possible that it could work against him. So I'll take some Austin Hubbard in the Tout Master if I remember to get my picks in. And
bad week. Finally had me a bad one.
Featherweight division. Jamal Emmers, Gabriel Miranda. He looks like he should be on that like fighting nerds team, but they probably kicked him out because he's not good enough. Sean?
Yeah,
you think?
That is on point. This is another one where I think if Emmers gets takedowns, he's gonna win. Is he content not to shoot takedowns and might get beat up on the feet?
It's Jamal Emmers.
It's Jamal Emmers, and he's like minus 350 or higher, which is absolutely terrifying. Probably wins, but if you're laying that chalk, good luck to you.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, Emmers is like 35, 36 at this point. The dude just got clipped and taken out by Nate Landwehr and shit. He like the only guys he's beaten in the past couple years are total bums. He got beat by Jack Jenkins, Pat Sabatini, heel hooked his ass. Like this dude is like horrible. Is Miranda good enough to beat a horrible Jamal Emmers though? Like I'm not sure. I mean, Miranda's going to throw. Emmers has been clipped here lately. So if Emmers can't get consistent takedowns and bully Miranda here, and like Miranda's a fucking jacked up dude, man. So line's way too wide. Absolute dogger pass, but I don't know if I can bet Miranda. I'm still trying to talk myself out of it.
Yeah, hoping that we'd get like some sort of decent Miranda inside price. But it's cheaper than the money line. So I think the books kind of know how this one's going to go. If he wins, could be on the feet, clipping Emmers. Honestly, he could get clipped on the feet as well. And if Emmers does actually go for takedowns, that's more of Miranda's game anyway. So could throw up sub, catch him with something there. Was just kind of hoping for a longer line. I mean, what's Emmers by decision? Because I feel like that's probably higher than it should be.
Plus 220.
Oh yeah, it's going to be big because the over 2.5 is like plus 160.
Plus 220. That's not great.
It's not amazing considering what the
you almost
over
might
is.
as well take the over.
Yeah.
I feel like basically every time the over hits, it's because Emmers is winning this fight and laying on top of him. If the under hits, could be an Emmers knockout because Miranda's got a shit chin, or it could be Miranda finishing him either way. So I don't know. We'll see. Probably not going to bet it. I mean, almost definitely not going to bet it, but that's just the thought process there. Next up, lightweight division. Half a Garcia. Sometimes 3/4 of a Garcia, sometimes 1/4 of a Garcia. Just depends on the day, how much gas costs, whatnot. He's taking on old Vinc Pickle. Sean, what do we got here?
Vinc Pickle is a fucking moron. Outside of the cage. Inside of the cage. I don't think he's some genius either, but here's the deal. He's 42 years old. He has 2 fights in the last 3+ years. But half a Garcia is not good enough to be a minus 500 favorite. Like I guess people are just assuming he's going to get Finkel down and lay on him. I think Vinc Pickle can stuff us some of these takedowns, and when it's on the feet, I think he's better. He's better than half a Garcia. So I think that big of a dog is worth a shot. So I'll be playing it at like whatever it is, plus 375, something like that. Hey,
Wesley, he's better than half a Garcia, but if he shows up as 3/4 of a Garcia, is it still in play here?
Is ice around? That's the question.
Ooh.
Not in
They're in
Mexico.
He should be free. That's
I don't know. I don't know anymore. They liable to be in Mexico trying to deport this guy to El Salvador or some shit. Who fucking knows?
Not far enough. Keep going.
You're too close. Like Donnie trying to hug that black guy. Like, hey, hold up now. You're getting a little too close, brother. Yeah, this line's just kind of wild to me. Pickle at 42 is not good, but half a Garcia, I'm not sure he's even going to go for a lot of takedowns. If Pickle can like stuff a first 1 or 2, half a start brawling, man. And I think that's what we want to see. We want to see half a start brawling, and Pickle still got some pop. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to take a little shot on Vinc Pickle, the 42-year-old probably flat earther at this point. I mean, that guy's completely fucking out there. But that's how you want your fighter sometimes, shit for brains. And yeah, let's throw down. I'll take a little bit of that pickle. It looks like there's some plus 380 out there. That's wild, man. Have a Garcia at minus 500. It's just fucking wild, bro.
Yeah, I think that Vinc Pickle is gonna give you an honest fight every time out. He's gonna throw, he's gonna defend takedowns, he's gonna try and mix in a takedown of his own. He's gonna get a little tired into the third round, but he's not gonna quit on you. And honestly, I think all of that is enough for this line to be way too long. Like, what's Rafa Garcia's best accomplishment that we've seen? Is it a win over an even more geriatric Clay Guida?
And that was tough. That was like tough. Like Clay was like up in that shit.
Yeah. That's one. He couldn't get any takedowns there. I don't really think that Garcia is going to get a lot of takedowns here. He's not out-grappled anybody that's a decent grappler. And the guys that are taking down Pickle repeatedly are like Mark Madsen, Gregor Gillespie. Like, they're guys that can actually grapple a bit. So I think this is just going to be kind of a gross, dirty clinch fight, which is probably about the best thing that you can ask for a 42-year-old dude that just likes to get kind of grimy in there. So I'll take a little shot on old Vinc Pickle. What do we got out there? We got plus 375.
Yes, sir.
Do it.
We're gonna do a little half shot on old Vinc Pickle, plus 375 as this week's consensus.
Ooh, do the roar.
Oh,
let's go.
Wonderful.
we're getting bottom of the fucking barrel with this shit. These are the cards, bro.
We're giving it right back. Next up, women's strawweight division, Julia Plastri against, I assume she's Mexican for this fight.
100%.
Lupita Godinez, which is why she's minus 230. Sean.
Yeah, they were tired of the Canadian Godinez showing up, so they are sending her to Mexico for the real Mexican Godinez to show up. I'm honestly surprised. Like, I know laying juice in women's MMA, except especially mid to low women's MMA, is fairly frowned upon. But I'm honestly surprised that she's only minus 230. I'm not saying I'm going to bet her, but she's losing close decisions. I mean, the Handy fight wasn't that close, but I mean, that's a close decision against Dern. She's obviously beat a bunch of
an actual competent fighter to beat her.
Yeah. And she did it. And now she's only a minus 220 favorite, 230 favorite to something called Julia Plastri, who is going to split decisions with Corey McKenna and losing to Knudsen. I don't think I have the balls to lay that or parlay that, but I'm surprised that the price is what it is.
Wesley.
I think this is short. I honestly think this is like very short here. She should maul this chick, like straight up. Like, her last two fights are against like two of the top in the division, and she was right there in those fights, man. I don't get this line. I know, like, Sean's right. You don't really want to be in the habit of running around laying over minus 200 on chick fights, but man, there's a path there. Like, she should be able to get takedowns here when she wants. I mean, that decision price, I wish it was a little lower because I'd probably just go that route, but hell, that's only off by about 50 cents from her money line. So yeah, I mean, I think we see her go straight full Mexican lay on top decision here. And I think that price is kind of short. I will be having her in a parlay.
Yeah. It's not like Plastri is some big, a submission threat from inferior position. She's not going to throw up a triangle or anything like that. Usually her finishes are later in fights with people that are tired and just kind of get on top of them or get all over them with punches and finish them off. It's not going to happen here. She's going to get pushed back, maybe wrestled, maybe not. You never really know with Loopy. But I don't think it really matters in this spot. So as much as I hate to agree with you, especially like what I'm agreeing with you about, I kind of have to. So yeah, well, we'll leave it there and move on. Featherweight division, Christian Rodriguez. We mentioned him when we were chatting about potential bets in the pre-show, but not how you might think. Taking on my dude, the Milk Weasel. He's just burrowing his way up and around to the top of the featherweight division, Sean.
I don't think he's going to get that far, but he's done better than I think most people expected. Christian Rodriguez is a guy that you love to play as an underdog. You guys obviously hit that big one against Jay Leno Jr. And I mean, he took out Bulgarian, Simon. He's a good fighter. He's not amazing to the point where you'd like to lay juice on him in this kind of matchup, which Milk Weasel came out and did the thing against Andre Fili last time out. And I know Fili's kind of more of a name than what he is as a fighter anymore, but taking him out in the first round still fucking impressive. Was obviously outstriking him in the fight before the sub. I'm surprised this fight isn't a little bit closer. I don't think I can put money down on the Milk Weasel, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to kind of mix it up and win a close decision.
Wesley?
Yeah, I mean, I lean Rodriguez in this fight, but I do think it should probably be lined a little bit closer. I'm not rushing out to lay the juice on Rodriguez here. Sean's right. You want to get him as a dog. Like, he's right though, man. Rodriguez is taking out like all of these up and coming cats that like big. I mean, even last time out, the Bashy kid that he took out, he was like a 2-1 dog in that fight, man. Like, but those are the spots you want to get Christian Rodriguez. And like the Milk Weasel has lost a couple fights to guys that like have kind of bullied him, got him down and stuff like that, or just kind of bigger, stronger guys than him. Rodriguez ain't that guy. You know, he's more of a smaller, kind of elusive dude that's got very, very good hands, kind of wants us to stay up and box. And I don't know if he's going to get that kind of fight. I think the Milk Weasel is going to be the one looking to kind of grind and grapple a little bit in this fight. And I could see that going well for him, man. So it's a tough fight for me. I lean Christian Rodriguez, but there's no way I want to lay minus 160 on him in a spot. And I completely understand taking a dog shot here, but I don't personally see it. I like Rodriguez.
I think these guys are kind of the same in like how their careers have progressed and who they are as fighters. And that's when they step up. And like we saw Milk Weasel come in at 155 and got bullied because he's not a 155er. We saw Rodriguez come in at 145 and got bullied by JSP because he's not a 145er. Then he went down and he's a fat fuck. So he kept missing weight and he got us a couple upsets in there, but then he had to come back up to 145, but he's still not a 145er. And Milk Weasel has kind of found his home at 145. I know he's got the one other loss to Steve. Yeah. Mean Machine. No shame in that these days. Mean Machine's like top 10 featherweight in the world at this point, right, guys? But anyways, he's going to grind on you. He seems to have a pretty decent chin. Not that that's really a concern with Rodriguez. And I just think it's going to be a case where there's going to be a much bigger guy wearing on a much smaller guy in this fight. So I like the Milk Weasel. I think it's kind of worth a bet, plus 140-ish or higher. So yeah, we'll do that, I guess, because there's some slop in here that we're not going to touch. Like moving up to the middleweight division, we've got Atiba Gauthier taking on Jose Medina. Sean,
sure. Don't have much on this fight, but I did take a journey here, clicking on the old Tapology and then switching over to SureDog. So Tapology, the Gauthier picture, it looks ripped, but also looks like an old photo when you click on him. So then I go over to SureDog and I'm on the event like list, and so they're all zoomed in. They're just headshots. I'm like, oh, it's pretty goofy looking. And then you click on his SureDog photo or his SureDog page, and Jesus, this guy is fucking yoked. He might be top 10 all-time body.
Okay, hold on.
We gotta see this.
This motherfucker is supposed to be 22.
There's no way.
Looks like he's Grandpa Trinaldo's brother.
Yeah. He's a Cuban 22, dog. He's straight up a Cuban 22. Oh shit.
I was like, in this picture you're saying is an old picture. He looks like he's 34.
Yeah. But the photo just kind of looks like that old grainy, and then the SureDog one's just the cherry on top.
Holy shit. No, he's got, that's like 3 years of straight TRT to those abs from Tapology to SureDog, bro. God damn. This man looks like he's been stung by a fucking pack of bees. Those shit swelled up.
He's got some abs.
He said 22. This man is at least.
I'm going to put the 22-year-old that's probably going on 32.
This guy was 22 years old ago. This is holy shit. Anyway, is that was that the breakdown?
That's all I got.
There you go. And Wesley, would you like to do a comparison on old Jose Medina, who is wearing a T-shirt in his Tapology pick and looks like a semi-filled sausage in his shirt?
Middleweight with a T-shirt on is not a good sign.
It is not good. Yeah, I am gonna take the yammed up fucking 22-year-old fucking cat here. I got no idea, man. This dude looks like he's destroying a bunch of guys. We saw him on Contender Series, apparently. Don't remember it, but he smoked some palm on Contender Series. And Medina's very, very bad, man. It's an over 1.5 here. Like, Medina seems like he takes an ass whooping. So
he's going to have to.
Gonna have to hear. This seems like one of those cases where one of these killers gets to the show, though, and it's, he's not gonna smoke this Mexican guy down in Mexico. So that over 1.5 is kind of juicy, but I'm gonna watch it. If it comes down, I'll probably take a little over 1.5. But yeah, I don't know how you bet a guy wearing a shirt that's middleweight on his fight pick, bro.
Guys, what did we say at the start of this card? We've got to keep in mind where we're fighting,
altitude,
and what we're betting. We've got a guy that's used to just going out there and killing dudes. You saw the muscles.
You want the T-shirt in Mexico City. Yeah, you want the T-shirt.
You're both saying over 1.5. I mean, what are we doing here?
What's Medina decision?
Yep. What are we doing here with Medina decision? 700? 700. And we're just sure that this dude who's killed a bunch of bums is somehow gonna come in there and I mean, he probably is. He should. But he hasn't done it every time.
They slow down in Mexico City. That's for fucking sure.
That's right. So nothing official on this fight for me. No, nothing at all. But man, when I just see something like this, I'm always tempted to
You'd
find a
almost-
reason
Yeah.
to look at the dog. Flyweight division up next. We got the chairman, Erceg, taking on CJ Viagra. Sean, what we got?
The Viagra is not working anymore. He's having a tough time
Cialis.
keeping it up.
He needs to
He
switch
needs
his
to
name
switch.
Blue Chew.
Yeah, I think Chavez wins here. Viagra just he's chinny. Chavez got a little bit of power. He could get cracked. I also think that Chavez probably could out grapple him too. Viagra's nothing special defensively, so I'll pick Chavez, but it is flyweights, so some close fights do end up happening, which would be unfortunate if you're going to lay minus 250. But I think Chavez wins a wide decision if he doesn't get him out of there.
Wesley.
I like Charas quite a bit in this spot. I know we do get closer kind of fights in this weight class, but one thing I like about him is like he's coming forward and throwing. Like that's always going to look good for judges in closer rounds. Absolutely has some pop. The Viagra man got fucking caught in his last fight. I'm not sure that Viagra can get takedowns on Charas. Like his takedown defense is good. He's probably going to keep this up and fucking just style on Viagra here. So I like him quite a bit at minus 250. I think this is a really good parlay piece. So maybe some Charas with some Lupe. There's another spot on the card that I like that's a little bit of chalk. So Charas will absolutely be in a parlay for me.
Not sure I'm so confident in the chairman on this one. These guys both have very similar accomplishments. They've both beaten Daniel Lacerda, who loves to quit in fights. They both lost to Tyra, who is like a very reasonable loss to have on your record. Neither of them has much success grappling in any of their fights at all. They both just kind of get into close striking battles. And then Viagra got topped off by old Ramazan Temirov, who people that watch more MMA than I do these days were pretty excited about coming into the UFC. He said he hit like real hard for a flyweight, and it turns out he fucking hit real hard for a flyweight. So I think this is just going to be a competitive flyweight fight that we see between two kind of generic guys that don't differentiate each other a lot. So I think this is going to be competitive. If push comes to shove, and by that I mean Toastmaster, and I have to make a pick, we're going with Viagra on this one. He's gonna pop us up the rankings one more time, so to speak. Main card now, allegedly. Ronaldo Rodriguez, who is actually Ronaldo Rodriguez, because we're in Mexico, taking on Kevin Borjas. Sean.
I'm a bit surprised that Lazy Boy actually isn't a bigger favorite, just with the run that he's been on. I know these are close fights. He's getting outstruck in most of them, and he did lose to Jerome Rivera on the Contenders Series way back when, who did not have really any success in the UFC when he got in there. So more just tough competition in his two UFC fights. So it's kind of hard to judge a guy like that when he's going right away against some pretty damn good flyweights. So I'll probably pick the favorite, Lazy Boy, to continue his run, but I don't really have too much thoughts on this fight.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, I think Rodriguez has improved quite a bit over the past 5 years from that Contender Series fight. And, beating O'Day over 15 is not something horrible. Like O'Day's usually a tough out. This Bojas dude has just looked fucking absolutely horrendous. So I'm going to take Rodriguez. Not laying minus 150, but it seems like people starting to bet fucking Bojas a little bit. I don't really get that. So, I mean, if this Rodriguez line comes down a little bit more, I might have to play a tiny bit on him. But yeah, gonna be the pick. Nothing I really like.
Yeah, I agree with what Sean said. Where like one guy has gone up to like, I don't want to say this level, but like this level and kind of hit that ceiling and lost a few fights. And the other guy's been like constantly fighting at this level and been beating those guys. So where do they meet in that gap? I don't really know. I don't really want to put a wager on knowing, considering the line is basically pretty close. So, yeah, I guess I'll pick the guy who continues to find a way to win, even when he's losing. So we'll go with Lazy Boy here. But yeah, that's a dicey one for sure. I would not want to have money on that fight by any means. Also, notice the trend sticking to the lighter weight classes so that these guys don't completely die and offer terrible, terrible fights. We got one of those coming on maybe a little bit later. Bantamweight division, David Martinez taking on Simon Oliveira. Sean, talk about this one and pass it over to Wes. I'm getting a beer.
Fair enough. This is another case where a guy gets a win on Contender Series, then goes against UFC fighters, loses a couple, and then they match him up against a guy coming off a Contender Series win. It's tough these days. You know, we used to kind of fade the hyped up Contender Series fighters, but now they're fucking fighting each other because that's the only way that it seems, for the most part, the UFC gets new fighters in. So it's not a very good angle anymore because it's pretty much impossible to figure out. Martinez looked okay on Contender Series. I guess I'll take him. I don't really care too much.
Maybe Contender Series is the friends we made along the way. You know, Wes.
Yeah, this almost seems like a spot where they're trying to get the younger Mexican guy a win here. Price kind of says that, but look, Oliveira, like, off his Contender Series fight, got a couple kind of tough guys for like his level of fighting in Gravely and Daniel Marcos. Like, those aren't like scrubs he had to fight. And, you know, the Marcos loss was kind of bad. He got his shit pushed in that fight. This Martinez guy looks like he's going to be the bigger, stronger dude, younger dude in Mexico. So this seems like it's all lining up for a Martinez win, but he's minus 300 and something. That's wild. Nothing for me in this fight.
This is the absolute slop these days that I just could not care less about.
Who could care about this fight? Literally, what does this fight even? What is this? Literally, what the fuck is this? This is crazy, man. This is fucking wild.
Yeah. There you go. My thoughts exactly. Moving on. Another bantamweight fight. At least one of these guys, they tried to make people care about a little bit. I'm still waiting for the Maury episode where they bring out Jay Leno, but looks like we're going to have to wait for that. But Jay Leno Jr. taking on old Vinny Morales. Sean, are we going to get to the good stuff eventually?
Eventually.
No, not really.
Kind of. Jay Leno Jr. should get the dub here. Gets takedowns, probably subs Vince Morales. They're definitely matchmaking the old Jay Leno Jr. a lot better after his loss to Rodriguez. They're picking and choosing wisely. So, yeah, he's minus 400. I would not lay that. Minus 450 actually. And it's tough because, I mean, you know, he's not even subbing these guys last time out anyway. So it's, you know, him by decision is like plus 105. Him by submission is plus 230. I think he can get the decision, so maybe plus 230 is the way to go.
Wesley.
Yeah, I mean they're matching No Leno up kind of how they should have from the very start. Like the kid's gotten good, man. I just think in this fight he's in there with a really tough vet that I think he's gonna have problems getting him out of there, but this should be one of those fairly easy wins for Rojas. It's tough to like play even money on a decision here when there's could be some scrambles and shit, and we know he does have those sub potentials. Morales has got some sub wins before his past couple losses. I'm not sure what fight ends in sub is. That might be a way to go. If you like Morales in this fight, it's probably him catching something on Rojas. If they get scrambly, that's like 11-1, 12-1, something like that. So if you like Morales shot, that might be the way to look, him by sub or inside. I'm going to go with Rosas. I think the kid has gotten pretty good and getting better. I think Morales should give him a really tough fight, 15 minutes. I just can't lay even money on Rosas' decision, and minus 450 is just crazy on a dude that's still 22, 23 years old going against a really tough vet that's probably going to be in there for 15 minutes.
He's still only 20.
That's crazy. That's right.
Yeah. Which kind of like proves the point that we're all sort of making even more. Talented kid, improving a lot, has already improved a lot since he came into the UFC. We've bet against him in the past. We will bet against him in the future, but there's certain spots where the matchup is right and he's facing a guy that doesn't have very good takedown defense. You know, as Wes said, he's kind of tough to finish, got decent sub defense, might still get subbed early on. But even if he doesn't, I think he's just going to get dominated with wrestling the whole way through. Don't have the same sort of pushback that a guy like Christian Rodriguez is going to have in late round 2 and round 3 with Morales. So I don't think this is the time to oppose Rosas, and I don't think that the price is something that you really want to bet on with Rosas. So pass for me, but I think it's pretty well set up for him to get the job done. Middleweight division, Kelvin Gastelum feasting on tacos all week, taking on Joe Pyfer. Sean, what do you got?
So before the podcast, Wes tells me that old Gastelum is shredded now.
Has been fasting alum.
Maybe it's because I'm used to seeing him as a fat fuck that when he's actually on weight, he looks shredded.
So I mean that's all good and
relative,
well.
Right?
We'll see what he looks like after he hydrates. And regardless, this dude is a 5'9" middleweight. I like Gastelum.
Low center of gravity. It's exactly what you want.
Sure. I've bet Gastelum a lot, even at 185. I just think he's getting older, and his talent is not good enough to overcome the limitations of him not fighting at 170. I know he went to 170 and he lost to Brady. In hindsight, that's not that bad of a loss. He still should be there. I still think he beats a bunch of top 15 welterweights, maybe some top 10 guys, and he's just one and done. Bails back to 85, and I faded Piper against Hermanson, and that was very nice. He was getting way too hyped up, but I still think this dude throws hammers. I know Gastelum is showing a good chin, but that can only last so long. And the physicality difference between these two is going to be insane. So I think Piper gets him minus 305. it's tempting. I know you're gonna hear some other opinions, but I just don't like Gastelum at this weight class anymore against a heavy hitter.
Wes, body bags.
Look, he better body bag Kelvin fairly early, I think. Look, I don't love Kevin Gastelum, but one thing he's got still, his chin's still there. The dude's only 33. His chin's still there. He's got an insane chin. He does seem to be like in halfway decent shape. I know he's not shredded, but like there's so many posts now. The guy's actually in the gym and shit. He's like eating right and shit now. Shit he should have been doing like a decade ago. He might have been an actual like great fighter if he did all these things a decade ago. Yeah, don't like him at 185. Pfeiffer's going to be bigger, stronger, the bigger puncher. But I'm telling you, if this gets into the second and third round in Mexico City, Gastelum doesn't really like gas out bad in fights. His chin is there. This could get like shaky for Pfeiffer if this gets in the second and third round. And at plus 250, man, like I'm going to take a little shot on Gastelum here. Like if he gets smoked in the first round, like so be it. And like that's very possible. Like Pfeiffer hits like a fucking tank, but man, we've seen Pfeiffer like not get a guy out of there, and it ain't been good for him after that. And I think Gastelum's got way more skills wrestling and better pop than Jack Hermanson does. So I like Gastelum in this spot at the price at plus 250. I think it's worth a small shot. And if Pfeiffer fucking smokes him in the first round, then so be it.
Honestly, if Pfeiffer smoked him in the first round, I'd be kind of shocked because
that's why I think he's got a shot.
Nobody's ever done that to Gastelum. And you got this big muscled up, what is he, 6'3", 6'4", middleweight at elevation. As Joe Rogan, the wise Joe Rogan always says, it takes a lot of oxygen to work those muscles. And if he was down there in Mexico where he's not going to be because he's not allowed, but he also doesn't want to go because he'd rather go to Russia, he'd be talking about Pfeiffer's thighs and shit. I don't know. But yeah, I just think this is going to be a surprisingly competitive fight for Pfeiffer. This is very clearly his biggest step up in competition other than when he faced Hermanson and lost that fight. And I think it's going to be kind of the same sort of rude awakening for him, that the physicality is certainly there, but maybe the skills still need a whole lot of development. So I don't think that he's necessarily going to be able to grapple Gastelum if he needs to. I don't think he's going to be able to knock him out. So then it becomes, is he going to be able to outpoint him for 15 minutes? And I'm really not sure that this favors him at all. So we're going with some Kelvin Gastelum.
Let's go.
Wesley, let's do it.
We do pretty good when we agree. We usually do pretty good.
I think so. Sean, we're moving up to the co-main event. Lightweight division.
Banger.
Drew Dober, best jawline in MMA, taking on Manuel Torres, best tall Mexican lightweight in MMA. Did I put enough qualifiers in there?
Yeah, there's a lot of qualifiers there. That's a minefield to get through. Torres, this is gonna be a fun fight. These guys, I think, are just gonna brawl. So it's probably good that this is basically a pick 'em, because I don't think you want to late juice and in a fight like that. That's, both these guys have big power. Dober's chin has been kind of failing him. Torres got cracked last time out. Yeah, it should be fun. I don't think I'm gonna have a bet on this fight. I'll just sit back and enjoy the violence. If you force me to, I'd probably just take Torres just based on the age, and Dober's racked up a lot of damage recently, and Torres I think has the power to catch that chin. So that would be my pick, but just gonna sit back and enjoy.
Wes?
Yeah, this fight should be fucking insanity. Look, Dober's gonna get the fight he wants here, and I think I still trust Dober's chin for like one shot shit. Like, if each of these dudes are landing one big blow early, I trust Dober's chin to stand up a little more. And Dober starts having problems nowadays when this fight gets prolonged and he starts taking a lot of shots. The damage adds up quick on him now and stuff. I'm not sure we're going to get that in this fight. I think this fight might be fairly quick. So I lean Dober to get a first round KO. If it goes the other way, absolutely could. But yeah, at this point, I lean Dober early KO. I don't know if I can bet it. Like Sean's right. Like this shit could be over either which way pretty fast. So I'll probably end up having something small on Dober first round KO or something like that. It's the co-main. You know me. I gotta have a little action on the co-main. But yeah, this fight is just could go absolutely either way.
Yeah, if you could get any sort of decent plus number on either of these guys, go for it. Take it. Because honestly, anybody that knows or anybody that thinks they know and tells you that they know is what's going to happen in this fight is lying to you. It's going to just be chaos. They're going to come together, and maybe you think Dober's got a better chin. Maybe you think that Torres has more power, is going to land first. Like, it could all really happen in this fight. I think it's going to happen quickly. So probably the under, but I hate laying juice on under 1.5. So I'm not going to do that. So I will just sit back, and I will actually watch this one because it's almost guaranteed violence. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
You can get either guy first round KO at over 3-1.
Over 3-1. Oh.
Torres plus 300, Dober plus 375. First round KO.
There you go. Yeah, just flip a coin or just playing both. That's less fun. Flip a coin. Yeah, figure it out. So there you go. Wesley, best tip of the night. What doesn't start round 2, actually, if you've got the lines?
I don't know if they have those up yet.
Okay. Fair enough. I asked too much of you.
Yeah.
Main event time. Back to the flyweight division. Former champion Brandon Moreno. Breaking news, folks. Not fighting Davison Figueiredo. Still something we need to say every time.
Yeah.
I know it's been a few fights, but we just need to confirm. He is, in fact, fighting Steve the Egg Dude. Sean, what's going down here?
I like Moreno. I know the Egg Dude, could have been the champion if he wasn't a fucking moron. I think that might have been just a great night. Like he's a good flyweight. That's fair enough. I just don't think he's a great flyweight, and I think Moreno is a great flyweight. I think no matter where this is, Moreno has the edge. I really liked what I saw from Moreno against Albazi. Yeah, the Egg got cracked last time. Moreno does have some power. At minus 240, I'm back in Moreno. I know we always talk flyweights have close, exciting fights, but I think Moreno is elite enough that he could possibly get a finish here, or he's gonna, do some pretty good damage later on in this fight to not make this close. So I don't know. I might parlay him with Piper, and then if Piper loses, I'll just lay it straight and add some more.
Just parlay. Who is the one we said before? Loopy. Parlay him with Loopy instead. Don't be
That's
a
not
dummy,
bad.
Sean.
I just laying 230 on a women's fight.
No, you do it. You don't. I'm just telling you. Just friendly advice. Wesley, what do you got?
Yeah, it wasn't just that the egg dude got clipped by France. He was getting like schooled. Like he looked like he didn't even like belong in the same zip code as France. Like France was landing whatever he wanted. It was wild. Like I bet the egg dude in that fight, and it was like as wrong as I could be. Um yeah, like the guy was so close to being the champ, but like he lost on being just an absolute idiot. And like, do you trust that in big fights? You've seen it already. The guy makes horrible fucking decisions. On top of it, that was just a completely different style fight. Like Pantoja coming chin down, winging shit, walking right at him, to where Moreno's not going to do that. Like Moreno's not going to set himself up to be taken down like Pantoja is constantly. Um, Coming off of a couple losses, I thought Moreno like even upped his game last time out. That was an incredible performance against Albazi. He looked as good as he ever had in that fight. I think Sean just right. Like these fights are usually close at this weight class, but there's a few dudes that are elite in this weight class. And I think Brandon Moreno has found his way to being one of those few elite guys in this weight class. And I just think he's better everywhere than Erceg. I think Erceg might have not necessarily hit his ceiling, but went about as far as that he can go. He got his shot, squandered it, just blew it, making that horrible decision. And we've watched him get clipped and knocked out now. I'm not sure he might ever see that level again. So I like Moreno here. I think this price is very nice for a parlay piece, and I will have Moreno parlay.
Yeah, I think it's very possible that in the next 18 months to 2 years, we're all kind of just like, was the egg dude just having one against Pantoja, or is that like the perfect matchup for him? Because it's not like he was super impressive in his run up to the title shot. Like super close fight against Dvorak, pretty close fight against Costa, where he just hung on for dear life in the third round against the cage. And then he knocked out Matt Schnell, which is what happens.
Everybody knocks out. Yeah.
So all credit to him. The fight against Pantoja, incredible performance from him until he was a fucking bonehead urinal cake and lost it for himself. But like, is that just a function of how those two dudes match up? Because as we've pointed out, looked awful against old Steve. Is it possible that if he looks awful against another top 5 flyweight, which will be the third top 5 flyweight that he's fought, that he's just not that good? I think that's quite likely, especially considering what we've seen out of Moreno in the Albazi fight. And honestly, even in the fights that he's lost, like
he's always in them. Yeah, they're close.
He also had super close fights with Pantoja. He also had a super close fight with Brandon Royval, who brings it like nobody else basically ever. So yeah, I got to side with you guys. I think that we've never seen the egg dude beat a top flyweight. I don't think we're going to see him beat a top flyweight as the main event in Mexico. I think that Brandon Moreno is going to pull this one out. So maybe that Moreno loopy parlay isn't such a crazy idea after all. Just bad. Go full Bjorn Rebney on this shit. What else we got, fellas? I know, rest in peace, Lance. if he was here, he'd talk about the March Madness, which happened.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
man,
rapist got upset. We'd love to see it.
it was cool to see like a moment like that in wrestling, in sports in general, like an upset like that, which a lot of people were saying is one of the biggest upsets they'd ever seen in wrestling. It just sucks that it's always got to be like complete political bullshit now, though. Like you can't
the racist upsetting the rapist.
Yeah, you can't enjoy like moments of like, accomplishment and shit anymore, like as a collective group, because then you got, other rapists in the front row, like saluting, and the other dude is trying to steal your grandma's Social Security and shit. It's like, can we just watch good sports and shit anymore? Like, weren't these people that like keep this shit out of my sports? Like, weren't they that crowd like 6 or 7 years ago?
They sure were.
Yeah.
But they have flexible morals, as we'll say.
Flexible, yeah. Well,
big.
The other madness is taking place, and there has been a shocking lack of madness in that. It hasn't,
all I know,
I don't know if it's like the schedule or like it doesn't. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not been good this year either. Like I don't know. To get the casuals involved in March Madness, you just need upsets. You need
Big
Cinderella upsets and shit. One, there's not been a lot of like close games, which that sucks for everybody. But look, we're in the point of like college ball where you're not going to have a lot of these like mid majors upsetting these programs anymore. They're like, Auburn literally has one of the oldest teams that's ever played in college basketball. Like every one of their dudes are like seniors or more. They're like 24, 25-year-old men. Like their entire team is almost like a fucking pro fucking Kazakhstan team or something. Like they're all playing over pro ball. But like you're just not going to get those big upsets when teams are constructed like this nowadays. Like, all I know is like my boys are playing in the second weekend for the first time in like 6 years, which is kind of crazy to fucking say.
There you go.
And you knew Cal was going to go to fucking Arkansas and get those fucks in the Sweet 16 too. This guy ain't coached that hard in a decade. I ain't seen that man move on the sideline like that in a fucking decade. Straight up, dude.
It's proven a point.
Well, it just showed you sometimes, man, people got to move on.
Get cushy.
And
yeah, you got
everything in life, you get complacent at some point, and you got to change. You got to move on in life. That was the perfect one.
Yeah.
When's our March Madness start for? Or we got May Madness with our lacrosse, right?
Yeah. The conference tournaments and all that are at like the start of May, and then the NCAA tournaments through May. So Memorial Day weekend is when it all finalizes.
Puck passion,
and that's usually like they've kind of aligned it now, so that's for the college game and for box. It's both around Memorial Day, so it's nice. It's a good time of year for lacrosse.
It's good.
All the lax.
That's
it's been
right.
Fun.
It has been. It will continue to be, and hopefully, you folks will continue to have a little bit of fun watching the show as we talk about all sorts of bullshit. Sean, we got anything else to add?
Nope.
We'll see you folks next week.